And today we're talking about what it really takes to change your relationships and change your life.
And here's what we'll cover. Why change isn't something you wait for. It's something you practice now.
Why we want to minimize our impact, but maximize everyone else's.
And how to get your hands back on the wheel of your life and drive it straight to Joytown. When things aren't working in our relationships, we love to point fingers.
Oh, yeah. Someone else.
If they'd only communicate better.
People say it's, my boss or a work colleague.
Or it's my neighbor's fault, or it's the dog.
Or it's my partner, that we're constantly pointing fingers.
At the reasons why we're not having the relationship we want.
But us experiencing change in a relationship, if we're just focusing on other people, then we're outsourcing our own work, our own growth edge.
Because we can't begin to change what we don't own ourselves. Hi, we are Jeff and Ellen, and we are a married parenting coaching duo who spent the last 20 years helping people just like you get unstuck and reconnected.
And we don't just coach this stuff, we live this stuff and fail at it.
It's true.
But we're here to tell you everything that we've learned.
So we know how easy it is to blame someone else and avoid responsibility. And we also know that when we step into a place of ownership and actually say something like, hey, I know I contributed to this
It's on me.
Then when we do that, everything changes. So here are 3 principles to help you change your relationships and therefore your life.
Number 1, life is a mirror, not a reward system.
You've probably heard the phrase, what you put out is what you get back. Well, that is the principle of mirroring. And when you think about change happening, think about your life as a mirror. If I don't like what I see in the mirror, I don't reach out to the mirror and try and put the happy face on my image.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, I have to put the happy face here, and then the mirror reflects it back to me. If we operate like this in life, then it changes how we approach our life.
So yes, we're not looking for the reward first and then the action, but we actually have to do the new behavior, step into the newness, adopt some sort of new mindset or new action and saying it starts with me, and then life will reflect back that new change that started here.
And it's not just enough to act the change. You actually have to be the change. Life is more sophisticated than that. We can't fake it and then hope we're going to make it in the long run. But we actually have to be it.
Yeah, like you
to
can't
see it. Well, I like the rhymes.
Yeah, you gotta be it to see it. That's true. Oh, I like that.
We can't fake it till you make it. We have to be it till you see it. Sorry, I love the rhymes.
We're gonna wrap the next video. But I, if we have the intention of having more peace at home or more connection home, it's not just a mantra or a crossing the fingers. There has to be more than just intention. It means we have to do the action of, I will bring the peace. I'm going to put down the sword and the shield. I'm going to bring the peace to the kitchen so that I'm not creating and adding to the arguments. If you don't want fire, don't bring fire. Number 2, you're not the passenger. You're the driver.
One of the common things that we hear so often with the couples that we coach is what it's like to be a passenger in someone else's car, and particularly when someone is driving the car recklessly, too fast, changing in and out of lanes, the stop and start. Oh. And so you want
this veiled coaching that's happening right now.
And what you hope is that you can turn to that person and say, hey, Goggles, can you just pause on the driving? I'm getting really stressed in the car. And that they would take that in.
I'm going to take a drink break here.
So we're going to use that analogy, but we're going to put you as the driver of that car, and recognizing that whenever you're in a relationship, you have passengers. All the people you interact with are passengers in your car. And the way you drive impacts them. You might feel very comfortable with your style of driving, but not everybody is as comfortable as you are. And it would behoove the driver
keep going
to do a check-in with the passengers and say, how's my driving? Kind of like they do when you're in an Uber or in a taxi and you have to rate, how's my driving?
I think this video is just for me.
There may be some selfish motivation in here.
But yes, that is true. That when you are driving the car, you are affecting all the passengers. And I know that, we've had many conversations about this, about either how fast I drive or just being aware that, Ellen and Wyatt are also in the car and they're having an experience and being impacted by what I'm bringing to how the car is being driven. And so
And
all
Jeff,
relationships
yeah.
are like that what I bring to the table in the relationship, other people are being impacted by me.
And he could choose to judge us and get defensive and say, well, if you don't like my driving, you drive or get there on your own, take another car. Or, which would obviously send the relationship in a certain direction.
Yeah.
Or he can take ownership and say, oh, okay, it's okay. When he's in the car by himself, he can drive whatever way he wants. But when he has passengers and he's in connection with other people, he now can say, I'm sorry, yes, this is impacting you. I can shift and change. It's not a big deal for me to change.
Yeah. Don't operate on autopilot, cruise control, or some AI to drive your car. You're driving it. And so therefore you get to take responsibility for the positive outcomes and the not so fun ones either.
And then when Jeff does that, we have a great time, all of us in the car, and the journey to wherever we're going ends up being as delightful as the destination we get to.
Well said.
And this brings us to point 3. Every relationship is a relationship.
Yeah. The analogy of a boat, and 2 people are in the boat, and for any ship to make it to its destination, both people need to paddle.
Right, because if I stop paddling and you are paddling, where are we going to go?
All around a circle, or if I'm paddling left and you're paddling right,
then we're actually going to stay in the same place. We're going to burn up a lot of energy, and our relationship journey is going to burn out pretty quickly.
And so, I could say you got to paddle different, but maybe I should just paddle different so that we work as a team and I can contribute something different to make the boat actually go somewhere instead of just circles. This reminds me when I was in university, I was on the rowing team for a year. 7 other guys, 8 other guys, and the boat, we'd catch, one of our oars would catch something, and there's complaints about what we're doing, and my coach, who was a competitive rower, and he was saying when he was in his boat with his partner, the only thing he was focusing on was just, what can I do to make this boat be more even-keeled? What can I do to make us go more smoothly? What can I do that will add and not drag? And that was a great wake-up call. And so while I was in the boat, the only thing I could really control was what I was doing or what I was not doing. That's the only mechanism of control I had.
I love that story, though, because it actually highlights how much influence individually we have on the whole team and on the experience of everybody in the boat. You focusing on you actually isn't a selfish act. Actually, it's the opposite. It's actually a generous act. You want to show up your best and do your part and be a contributing member to the whole experience. And when we approach it that way versus, hey, what the rest of the team isn't doing, you're actually creating drag and resistance and friction when you're just pointing out what everyone else is doing wrong.
Don't be an anchor. And so the big takeaway is you can't change what you won't own. If you avoid your responsibility, you're just delaying your growth for another day.
So if you want a better relationship, if you want a better life, then you have to look in the mirror and you have to ask yourself, what's it like to be in relationship with me?
So if this video sparked something inside of you, hit that subscribe button.
Because we've got more real talk, relational tools, and emotional gym sessions every single week. And in this next video, we'll explain more about relational intelligence and what you can do to have the relationships you desire.